Hey guys, how's it going? So, I want to give you a cheat code to happiness, or to at least possibly improving your current life, this very moment, the future moments. Because the spiritual journey, if you want to call it that, or the possibility of enlightenment, discovering truth, God, self, any of those, or just one of them, can be a lifelong venture with a lot of struggles, deconstructing your belief systems, and the biological changes that creates, and the psychological changes. It can be quite heavy for a lot of people. For some people, it's a little easier than others, but the cheat code is appreciation. The cheat code is believing me or anyone else who you genuinely connect with about the message that your life is already perfect in a certain way. There's already a lot to appreciate. We often don't have the mindset of looking at what we have and instead kind of look at what we don't, or what's kind of wrong. Of course, this may take practice to see this for yourself, and maybe you don't do that, but it's true for a good deal of people. And in particular, I want to talk about the appreciation of the factness of something, and I'll try to explain that. We often don't necessarily recognize just the beauty of the fact that there is an experience, there is sight, there is taste, there is relationship, there is love. Then the factness of it, it was birthed somehow. We don't necessarily appreciate the extraordinariness of the fact that it's here. We take it for granted. It's like, of course, that's just the human life, and there's ups and downs, and there's positive and negative relationships. But the factness that the solar system or the universe or something before that, or the earth, birthed these systems of experience, the ability to smell, to experience anything, experience adventure and excitement and thinking and figuring out and puzzles, and the factness of knowledge, to be able to understand something altogether, to be able to figure something out. If there's anything at all to be able to do anything with. Because again, when you do go the distance in the spiritual journey, and some of you will feel pulled to do that, even if you don't want to. It's just going to be in your to-do list. It's going to be like the same as breath. You're not going to be able to stop yourself. But one thing you'll discover is a weird paradox that doesn't make sense often from the standpoint of maybe where you're at, which is there's already not a problem. Life is already perfect in a certain sense. It's profoundly good in a certain sense. I hesitate because there's meanings to words and depths to words and subtleties to words, and there's always a paradox that kind of counters any kind of word. But there is nothing out of place. Like what's taking place isn't an accident. It's not like whatever is taking place, God or the systems that create reality and the systems that create that. And I'm not going to get into too much detail about that thinking, but there wasn't an oops or aha, I'm going to do this to really make human beings suffer. I'm going to create an earth that's just really going to be a pressure cooker to create suffering. There wasn't a system out there that was thinking that there's nothing out of place. When you can kind of see that in your own way, and often it's like when you see it like in a way that it's hard to explain. But when it happens, it's the same thing as sight or taste, or it's real. And sometimes when you hear a message like this, it rekindles something, or kindles something for the first time. That's true. You recognize that, like, there's never been a problem. And there's many ways to explain that again. You could say that all problems exist within the way of thinking, or prioritizing, or believing good and bad, and a dichotomy or duality. But there's nothing wrong in that. To feel this, and not even to feel this, to believe, to connect, to just learn to recognize the beauty and the appreciation of the factness of this. Yeah, I'm kind of wanting to go in many directions, but yeah, I want to stick to the general message. The factness of stuff is a really interesting thing to recognize and to appreciate, because in any given moment, the factness of, oh, I'm alive, oh, and that can be tough sometimes, because sometimes you just want to get out of your skin, you want to get out of here. But there's an ability to connect with and see that, like, oh, there's sunlight, somehow it's there, and somehow I can experience it, and somehow I'm something that's thinking and feeling, and somehow this exists, and somehow, like, there's an awe that you can connect with. And I think it's a shorter cut to something that you probably desire, which is like well-being, or a sense of something valuable to life. Because yeah, often it's sought out in things, and things aren't necessarily a problem. Things are great. It's the factness of things. It's the factness of being able to play with money and buy stuff and invent stuff and play with stuff and experience stuff, but it's a different way of approaching and understanding than the general kind of way in which you feel it going on, or believe it going on, or approach your life. So if you have any questions, you want me to go into this any deeper or from a different angle, feel free to ask a question. I can maybe answer or make some more content on this topic. But I think it's a really valuable topic to really consider. All right, and I'll leave you with that. And you also feel free to leave any kind of comment about a video you want to see in regards to human life, spirituality. All right, take care. Bye.